David asked if I would ask questions, because it's better that way.
Well, rather than me ask myself questions, do you know what I mean?
I wanted to see that.
It's a novel idea. It's called the Interview. It's a long-standing form of interrogation that I've been subject to for years. Pray continue.
Dear David.
Yes, darling. Is this a radio show?
Yes. When you start, can you talk to us a little bit about when you started writing on this record and whether you wrote it piecemeal or whether it kind of came together as a body of work?
Yeah, well, I started sort of slowly, but then I was sort of ringing the changes behind the scenes and putting a new band together. And then once that was all accomplished, and there was a new band, I mean, the way that I like to write now, it's like I don't write so much on my own with my guitar and the sort of garret sort of thing. I prefer to write in the studio, so with other people around. It's just a different sort of palette of options. And once this new band came together, it crystallized on the last song we played, Draw the Line, was the one where it came together. We were all there, we were all present, and the song was written sort of in the studio. And I realized with great excitement that there was a sort of completely different sort of posture to the music with the new people, and it just enabled me to sing and write a different kind of song than I've been sort of trapped in a kind of introspective vein, I think. And I don't know, there was a sort of change in me. That's why I was making so many changes. But there was obviously a change of mood and a change of outlook, quite a profound one, I think. So with this new band, it was just very enabling suddenly. So Draw the Line would be a perfect example. Suddenly I could just get all this stuff off my chest. Mm-hmm. And it's like, the music was suddenly very outward, and it was like, oh, you can take it, rather than some delicate bloom that you proffer painfully towards the audience and hope they're not going to fart or something, or shout or heckle. It was suddenly much more robust than that. So it just enabled me to write a different kind of song. And I think at that point, that's when the whole process just caught fire in my head. And then I really began to write, in earnest. And the mainstay of the record was written from that point onwards in the sort of intense sessions that we had. So it was great. I mean, this is the first record from the sessions, the Draw the Line record. So I get behind this one first, but there was a whole swathe of other material that's equally strong. So it was a phenomenally sort of fertile and productive time.
Did Fugitive fall in the beginning, or where was that in the process for you?
It was towards the beginning that the music got recorded. And like so much of the record, it was recorded incredibly fresh and sort of spontaneously. It was literally virtually a first take. I mean, Draw the Line you could put in sort of the same category. Likewise, Nemesis and various other things. First Chance. There's a lot of stuff, Transformation, a lot of stuff, Full Steam as well. A lot of stuff recorded very, very off the cuff. Well, i.e. the song was just coming together, and the sound of the recording is the sound of it coming together for the first time properly. I like to work very, off the cuff. So it was... so I can't remember what you asked me. I'm too many. I do too many of these things.
How do you feel about recording? Is it difficult for you to let go and let that material out, or can you not wait? Is it something that? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, because in one part of you can't wait to get it out there, and that means you can go and play it, and people will get to hear it, but then you've got the sort of media to contend with, and you're just waiting for that kick in the balls. The masters of disappointment that they are. Someone's going to upset you horribly. It's a kind of agonizing process in some senses. And yet, that you sort of, after that horrible bit of what's everyone going to say, you're just like, well, that's that done with for another record. And then you just get on with it, and you get on with the business of playing it. And the music speaks for itself, stands up for itself. It's just a world of opinion. But it's a mixture of trepidation and excitement. So, both things in equal measure, I think.
There is an amazing song on this record that was recorded with Annie Lennox, and I believe it may be the next single which will come a long time from now because we are very involved in working Fugitive still at a lot of other radio formats. But if you can tell us a little bit about that process of recording it and all that stuff.
I've yearned to write a duet, a proper one, for years. I do like them. I know they're a bit corny and all that, but there's nothing wrong with that, you know. So, you know, Lionel Richie and Diana Ross, Kenny and Dolly. I love all that stuff. So I wrote this song, and as soon as I'd written it, I realised, oh my God, it's a duet. The lines sort of overlap. So it's one voice, then another, then back, and then they get together in harmony at the end of each verse. Anyway, then the can of worms was opened as who's the other voice going to be. So it ended up being Annie, and we put a load of names together and basically sent the stuff out, and she was the person who got back straight away and said, yeah, I want to do it. So it was phenomenal, really. She's still got it all going on, all that sweet dream stuff. You know, I think her priorities these days are more slanted towards all her charity work and that. But she's still there. She's still firing on all cylinders. And yeah, it was an amazing thing. It was, in terms of the singing, I mean, I wasn't daunted at all on the sort of creative level. It's more the sort of personality of working with someone, that awkwardness of, you know, I've got my way of working.
Did you know her before, or
no,
did you just...
I had met her, but only to say hi, not really in any deep, meaningful way. So she was absolutely fantastic. She came down to the studio. She couldn't have been more positive or easier.
Talk about the studio, because I heard that was amazing as well.
She criticised the carpets, you know.
Because why?
Well, it was used previously. Dave Stewart of the Eurythmics owned the studio. I bought it from him. He tastefully clad the whole place in this hideous sort of retina-destroying carpet, which is like Stuart Tartan, apparently. Nice touch, Dave. Always a man for understatement. Yeah, she couldn't believe that I still had this crap everywhere.
Was it? Now, she hadn't been in the studio for 15 or 16 years, right?
Yeah, it was a real vibe, I think.
So was it emotional for her to come in and record
I think it was a
studio?
sweet thing. I think it was a sweet thing. She really loved it. I could say she really lit up once we really got into the song, and she had a ball. She loved being there. There's such a good vibe there, and I'm sure for her there's a bit of mixed history in the place.
That's amazing.
But it was it was a bit of a moment, I think.
Okay. Well, can you sing some more, please?
Of course.